name, number. I want to like be specific. Like there's Discord.
Wait, is that new Aurelia art?
Oh no. Apparently I was gifted a sub to Fino yesterday. Gotta go. That. And the new weapon for Cyberpunk is available. Prime Gaming.
That should be fine. I think that's fine.
Yeah, I got the video for the Lotto, that link. I mean, I just clicked on it. Ash did most of the work.
Thanks, Bernie.
Wow.
Right, thanks, Bernie.
Listen, technically, I do nothing because everybody's already doing everything already.
Sounds like you're spoiled.
That's the Viltrum right way.
Also, why do I always have to refresh the page when you go live now? I can't just sit in your chat beforehand. Yeah, I know it's a Twitch thing.
Twitch doesn't want us to be early, that's what it is. Yeah.
Alright, well, the command is fixed. I had to double check 2 of the other ones, but they should be fine.
And alright, I gotta renew my passport. That document going.
Trying to invade another country.
I'm going to Stuttgart, Germany for Oktoberfest this year. Yeah.
Stuttgart?
Take me with you.
And my passport expired last year, so I need to renew it.
Yeah? Tell us how you really feel. Understandable. Have a good stream. Yeah, I can. Watch this.
That's a match.
I thought you were gonna get kicked for a second. I would have been impressed.
Just wait. Oh, just wait for it. It's coming. It's coming. Oh yeah, you're gonna feel it coming. Yeah, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna be blessing the rains down in Africa.
And copyright struck.
Listen, it's okay because
they can't hear him. They only hear us.
That kind of sucks about that though. Isn't there like something about karaoke or something being possible on Twitch?
They did that. They tried that. They implemented that. Then they embedded it. Then they took it out and removed it, and no one talked about it ever again. Yeah. Oh, that's an interesting feature on Discord. Okay. Okay. That's cleaner than before.
Hello. How are y'all? Ooh, stream looks like it's maybe struggling a little bit. Are you guys getting some latency? Yes, keeps buffering. Should be in the green now. Well, now it's back to red. Huh. Anyways, let me get the tweet out, and if it's still not working by then, chat, then I will probably power cycle the stream just to be on the safe side. Does this kickstart my heart? It's a remix of Kickstart My Heart. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, I like it. Okay. Tweet is live. Go give it some love. I still see stream in the red chat. Let me double check something here real quick. I'm on the okay. Chat, let me reboot stream. I'm sorry for this in advance. Just give it a second and then refresh. Okay. Should be back. And it is still back to bad stuff. Also, I call bullshit, Bob. Yeah, it looks like there's maybe some issues with my upload. Let me do a speed test real quick here. Server jump, maybe that's what I just did. Both servers appear to be having crap. Holy cow, if that is my actual download speed, I'm gonna get on the phone with my ISP and scream at them. Because I am paying for a lot more than that. My upload's actually pretty fine. Yeah, I don't know why it's fluctuating so much. Okay, I don't see any issues with Twitch being reported. So I'm not sure. Either way, chat, we're just going to have to probably power through it. Can you guys on the YouTube side of things hear me just fine? Talk again? Talking again. Doing talking. Saying things. Yeah, it's saying my stream health is poor over there on that side, so... You can hear? Is it buffering a ton? Loud and clear? Okay. As long as it's working for you guys. All right. I'm just going to... Oof, come on, man. What the heck is going on? I'm seeing like almost half the frames dropped. Like, this is just nuts. Especially because my internet does appear to be fine as best I can tell. My download's a little low, but download doesn't impact streaming. Yeah, everything I'm seeing is just people saying it's got to be the ingest servers. Okay, the drop frames have settled back down for a little bit. Hopefully they stay good. I'm to swap to London, yeah. All right, we're gonna get started here. Apologies for this chat. Like I said, okay. Hopefully everybody on both sides of the equation can see me. Should be the case. Let me grab today's artwork for you. And again, my apologies. This is the sort of thing that just happens. I'm late already to begin with. Here's the art for you guys on the Twitch side of things. Let me grab it for you guys on the YouTube side of things. Hopefully you guys can see me over there. In fact, I'm not even sure if you can or not. It doesn't seem to indicate necessarily that I am live. I can see you. Okay, good. All right. How Tweedy, thank you for the 7 months. Wood, thank you for the 25. Sorry about that. Ash, thank you for the 42. And I believe that was everything. Anyone else having sound issues? You should not be having sound issues, though perhaps my microphone was not all the way up there. I have no idea how that happened, but yeah, I think it may have just been the microphone that he was talking about. But yeah, so like again, this sort of thing can happen. It's just bad connection to the Twitch Invest servers. As best I can tell, my upload speed's fine, so it's not my internet. It just appears to be the case of like Twitch and it not handling it, or at least how it's routing through. I don't know how my YouTube plugin works in that regard, because that's what makes me think it might be my net. But my YouTube plugin that I use to do both simulcast streams may be messing up. Like it may have to flow through the Twitch Invest servers. So I don't know in that regard. Please hold while cat is reached. Is it dropping bad again? Like I don't want to like have you guys not being able to like hear me. Because that's the case, I'll just cancel stream for the night. I'd like to talk about the news, but there's like really not that much going on that's imperative. But yeah, like, is it watchable still, guys, or is it like getting really, 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 really bad? It buffered for a few seconds here. It's sporadic. Yeah, that's what I see on my end too, is it's just fluctuating. It's all over the place. I just want to see if like my Steam is like doing anything wacky. Doesn't appear to be. Just closing some stuff down. Just one more show. Seem fine now. Okay. Yeah, I'm still showing like basically a third of my frames dropped, which is, so that you guys are aware, that means as the packets get sent, okay, basically like a third of the packets are just getting lost. Like you guys are not seeing a third of the data of the stream. So I suspect it's got to be pretty choppy right now. It's got to be pretty bad because it's showing it like in the red for connection. I don't know why. Like it should not be that way. I haven't done any updates or anything on my end. And nothing I am doing seems to be impacting it. Just a second, chat. Okay. Yeah. Mods, can y'all find the packets, please? Right? Like, I have no idea what's going on. So, like I said, just let me know. If it gets bad, I can stop stream. I don't want to, but I don't want to subject you guys to a terrible stream experience. I know I wouldn't want to have to sit through one. So, it's just one of those deals where it's like, I want to make sure that the stream is at least good quality for you guys. Have I done the advanced quest yet? No, that's probably what I'm supposed to do tonight. But we'll continue onward. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the art piece. Go give some love to the artist, and we're gonna get started here. Basically, we got some news on both sides of the equation at this point, where JP at this point has announced like Ordeal call coming. We've kind of known it's been coming. The devs have made announcements in that regard, but like we don't have like a lot of concrete data, and finally they actually ended up giving us part of an announcement here, and that was that we've got the pre-campaign. We got given some blue prisms for people to catch up. Okay, and it's essentially just like some really easy stuff. You've got the login bonuses and everything. They're basically they did a pre-banner for a lot of stuff. You also have missions that if you've already done the missions, you'll be fine. I do find this really funny because one of them is to have cleared basically Nitocris Caster's NP interlude, and I'm like, what if you just don't have that servant? But I don't know. So maybe it's just a milestone where once you unlock it, you get it. If that's the case, I don't really understand it. But essentially, I had all my missions just done right out of the gate. And then, yep, like I said, we got the blue prisms, and then they ended up giving us Ordeal Call 1 had a return banner. So with that being the case, y'all know that all these units are coming back. Again, it should just be split banners between them. Yep, so you can see it's Dury with each of the 5 stars is essentially how that's going to go. And it's nothing too much to write home about. But I do find it interesting that the pre-banner doesn't have any relation to the current Ordeal Call. But they have been playing the current Ordeal Call close to vest. Very much so. They always are pretty like spoiler sensitive, so they don't do stuff, but usually your pre-banner has something to do with the event. This one doesn't, and we can conclusively say that because it's just Ordeal Call 1. So like its only relation is that it's the prior Ordeal Call. Nibbles, thank you for the 8 months. They're free. I don't have Benny and could do hers. Okay, that's sweet actually, if that's the case. I actually haven't checked to see if some of them are the case, but all I know is, like I said, I have them all. So let me see. Obviously, I have him, I have her. I did get Benny Enma. I believe she's fully upgraded now, and I do have Nito. So yeah, like all of these should have been done for me as well at this point, so I shouldn't have to do any of them. So that was the news on the JP side of things. We can kind of guesstimate. I know Avalon was talking to me about it. We've got a 2-week duration on this for it being all the way up to the 14th. And it just kind of makes a lot of sense, right? Because we know when Valentine's Day is going to end, so they can do some interesting stuff with it, but like Avalon thinks it's going to be CBC basically until late in March, and then Ordeal Call 2 right after. And that's probably the case. Like, I don't know if they actually even said here when it's actually going to come out. Yeah, in late March. Okay, so there you go. So that's late March is their way of saying, remember guys, that it's like they have days 1 through 10, days 11 through like 20, and then days like 21 through 30 or 31, right? So this is late, this is mid, and this is early. That's the terminology they always use. So essentially, if they're saying late, assume it's going to be in the last, relatively the last 10 days of the month. So it makes sense that what Avalon's saying to be the case, because it's either that or they're punting CBC, and I really just don't see them doing that. They've made a big to-do about doing CBC every single year. They really have tried to step it up and make it a actual event. Whereas before we didn't even have a CBC event, we just had some banners. Then they started doing events, but they were relatively phoned in, and now they've started to like at least do more and do better by them. So it would kind of undo all of that progress if they just skipped a CBC event. But anyways, like I said, that was your JP news. From there, we had the announcement of the Road to 7 campaign here for NA. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I'm just going to say that, like, I don't know that I care. So hear me out on this. This is going to happen at 6 p.m. Pacific time, which is 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay. On the 29th, which is tomorrow. Okay. So at the end of the day, this is basically the devs coming out suddenly and just saying, hey, let's do our Road to 7 live stream. And as Avalon just let everyone know, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming literally tomorrow, the same day for this announcement. So, like, I find it a little bit tone deaf and stupid by Aniplex, who is owned by Sony, who also owns Square Enix, to do simultaneous announcements like this, but it is what it is. I don't think they care at the end of the day, but I'm going to say this. This is the Road to 7 kickoff stream, so I've got some predictions. Prediction number 1 is that this talks about Road to 7. Obvious, right? Prediction number 2 is that this also talks about Chaldea Boys. And the reason that I say that is because I don't expect the Road to 7 campaign to take up very much time at all. Like maybe 2-3 days. It doesn't mean that the campaign won't last longer than that. It will. But I expect CBC to basically encroach upon it, because Road to 7 encroached upon CBC on JP's side of things. Like literally in the last week of CBC, they gave you Road to 7. So I expect it's just going to overlap regardless. I don't think they're going to give it very much time of its own, and it'll be what it'll be. Maybe they will, and maybe you guys have an entire dead week for Road to 7. If they do, I'm just going to say, woo boy, that's some dead time. And I will say it like it is. That would be absolute mismanagement on behalf of the devs due to how they structured the Valentines release. So hopefully they don't delay an entire week. I'm going to count on them encroaching. Now, here's my point in all of this. The reason why I've said this is because we're going to watch the Road to 7 stream. If it is just a story recap and them attempting to hype up Road to 7, I will not watch any other of these. That will be the only Road to 7 stream we watch on this channel. Y'all can watch it on your own time because it will just be completely unhype. When Road to 7 came out on JP, it was a big nothing burger. At first, people were hype about it, and then they realized very quickly by even the second one that it was just stalling tactics by the devs, and this was going anywhere fast. So that's kind of why, like, I don't want to bore you guys by hyping this stuff up, because it's absolutely the epitome of unhype. It's meant to like get you hyped for LB7. You know when LB7 is. It's at the end of the year. That was the same sort of like realization that JP had to go through, because at first it looked like, oh well, hey, you know, maybe with the pacing of Road to 7, like it's gonna come out like maybe like late summer, early fall. Like, dude, that's pretty pog. And then they kind of quickly realized that the pacing wasn't going that way. And then also, I think it was like shortly after the second Road to 7 campaign that Mr. Chu let slip that, oh yeah, by the way, like LB7 is going to be in December. Like, he basically said, oh, it's at the end of the year. And he fucked up. He, like, whether or not he actually meant to say it or not is something, but he let the cat out of the bag one way or the other. And that made a lot of people realize, oh, this is just absolute like year-long stalling, right? So NA is going through that time period here. I saw someone basically say like, oh, NA is like set in for a couple months here of dead time. It's not a couple months, chat. The second we get the Road to 7 campaign on NA, congratulations, it will have been 2 years. 2 years since JP hit this point. 2 years of Dedge time. Okay? JP has been at this slow-ass rate the whole time. So this is why, like I said, I'm not going to bother to cover it. They've kind of dug that grave themselves. So we'll watch the first one. If they put other stuff in, I'm down to keep covering them. But if it's just Road to 7, I'm not covering them. There's nothing really to do. So damn, we fucking old. Yep. Only thing we get is 6.5 and then dead year. Nah, I mean, like, we get a ton of stuff this year still. I don't want to like make it sound like we get nothing. Just there is a ton of stalling. There is a ton of like doldrums-esque type of stuff. So I think NA will try to do better with it, but so far the results are not promising, especially if Road to 7 gets its own week, right? If Road to 7 gets 1 week of dead time, oof. That's oof, because we've already had 2 weeks. So there's not really any reason that they scheduled stuff this way. I don't know. I hope they don't keep doing it. God, my frames are still bouncing around. Is there a world where we even bail on this stream? Yeah, I mean, that could be possible. But like I said, it's going to be difficult to tell because they can always throw something in at the end and stuff like that. They'd have to be like, all right, now for the rest of the stream, we're going to watch the like drama log. Because that's, chat, that is what's going to happen. That's why they're hyping this up. They're going to premiere the drama log that is translated. They will also probably like have the VA sit down that they recorded 2 years ago with a lot of people. That will also probably be translated. It is literally just them recapping the story of the Lost Belt and talking about it. And as cool as that could be, I think my biggest issue with it is it's not a comprehensive summary. So the issue with this is it's very much a TLDR of the singularity. And so if you're somebody that hasn't read the story, yeah, it gives you a TLDR so you kind of have an idea, but no, it's not as good as reading a proper summary would be, or actually just reading the story. You will miss some stuff. You will get spoiled basically by this. And so while it will allow you to catch up, it's not a good experience overall. So out of curiosity, do you have any opinions on best event or such to spend March's new teapots? I don't remember how long the next set lasts. And I'm going to be real with y'all. Teapots are not a big issue. Don't fret over them too much. We started out that way, fretting about them on NA. On JP. I at least tried to like get you guys in the mentality of like, hey, these are going to expire, use them or lose them. But I've kind of done my due diligence on that, and y'all kind of just need to adjust at this point to this is how teapots work. But you're going to start getting just tons of them. Understand they are what you make of them. They're nice, but they are not like the end all be all. If you have to miss a couple, it's not the end of the world. If you maybe have to use them in a suboptimal node or a suboptimal party composition so that you're not gaining as much bond, it's also not the end of the world. Like, chat, all it does is double the bond that you receive for that one particular node. That's it. It's nice. It's not going to make or break you. It's no different than like wasting enough AP to miss a node, or like going and grinding bones in fucking Fuyuki instead of doing a higher level node, right? Like, that's really all it's going to matter. I think it'd be based if JP skipped CBC in favor of getting Ordeal Call 2 out earlier. I don't think they will, but like, again, it's possible. So, Beans, thank you for the 14. And good night to you too. You can just use them whenever and ever. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it's nice to have. It's not the end of the world. So please understand. So like I said, I wouldn't worry about getting too upset about it. Usually your best time to use the teapots is going to end up being stuff like the 90 plus, and then later on the 90 plus nodes. So not too big of a deal. Okay. Actually, I gotta turn that off or YouTube will censor me. Although maybe it like doesn't get a full good recording since stream is buffering. And again, apologies to anyone that's coming in, but apparently my net's acting up a little bit. Indigo Violet, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Technically, it's 100 plus stacking only additively with other bonuses. Yes. Yeah, so it literally just doubles the amount you get from a node. But yes, it does not double the amount, including other like increases. When do the teapots expire again? Yeah, teapots should be expiring right here, like at the end of February. I don't know if you have the 29th or not. I don't remember if that was a thing, because like I doubt it is, because there was no leap year when it came out in JP. So it's probably hard coded as the 28th. But yeah, like, again, just use them, chat. It's better to use them than lose them. Don't fret about like exactly which node you do it. Like, if you're someone like me, if you're doing like an LB6 node for like materials during the dead time, just use that. That's perfectly fine, right? Like, that'll get you plenty of bond. So do it on whatever you want to do it. We beat the bad guys. Yep. It's a watch at your own risk type of thing with the drama logs. Yes. The best I can personally come to is Ordeal Call 2 is either going to drop the 20th or the 27th. I suspect Avalon's assumption is correct in that it's probably going to be something like the 28th or the 29th or something like that. It's going to be late March, like they said. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm not fretting about it too much. I'm sure that's going to get like the JP people interested and come back for that. And that's good for them. I think JP is long overdue for new content. Chat, the fact that we get it in March means it's going to have ended up being at least 9 months since our last actual story chapter. While we have had events that have dabbled pseudo-wise in story, we haven't had an actual story chapter in a long time. We haven't even had like a main interlude or something that like you could really call story that wasn't a main chapter release either. So the closest thing is like the castle event that we had back at was it like October or November last year? And that's like, I don't know, right? It is what it is. I should have just spent the teapots at Valentines. That's what I did. And this is the practice I think y'all should get in the good habit of, is whenever you see a good opportunity to use teapots, just use them. Right? Like, you're like, oh man, hey, instead of trying to like min-max this, just use it. There is one instance that you should save teapots for. That instance will not occur until January of next year. If you know, you know, don't worry about it. I'll talk about that as we get closer. So that's, and like, trust me, your teapots are going to expire like 5 times over before we get to that point. So. There's a few times to min max. Yep. Yeah. And generally, chat, just use it on a 90 plus plus. That's really all it is. And if you don't have 90 plus plus, use it on a 90 plus. It's whatever gets you the most bond. Bad thing they gave a set of teapots after the Valentines event. They did on JP as well. It just was weird timing, and you kind of had to rush. Remember back when these came out on JP chat, there was a lot of speculation as to what the teapots could mean. In a weird way, we can now look back at teapots and say that they're somewhat of a trap. That while it is nice because they increase bond, JP has been on this like kick now of like trying to dramatically increase your bonding on certain units, particularly your front line, in order to try and like get you to finish bonding them so that you can roll a new unit. So at that point, try to like spread your teapots around, try to use them on maybe like not like your favorite unit and stuff like that you want to use all the time. Because that's 100% what they're trying to do here, is just get you to bond faster, which, you know, for the player, that's a good thing, right? Like, you bonding faster means you get more bond rewards. But also, it's, in a weird way, long-term better for the devs. Because while, yes, they have to give you some rewards a little bit faster, you also finish bonding the unit a little bit faster, which then sets in that, like, bond efficiency guilt of like, oh man, I've got this unit at bond 15. I need to be using somebody else so that I'm also gaining bond with them instead. So that's 100% what their goal is with these changes. Fenrir and JHMJA, thank you for the follows. Welcome. What if we run out of units we want to roll? Well, that's the magic question now, isn't it? I have no answer for that. Please ask Mr. 2. That's a CJP for more details. I'm gonna use them on the Ember nodes I'm farming. Yeah, I think it's fine. Isn't the main story for later Lost Pelts, which has thousands for bond? Yes, there is like 2 different nodes in LB7 that give like a metric fuck ton of bond. That being said, you're probably only going to need like 2 teapots for it. Also, I'ma just be real with you and say that your composition for those fights will probably not be very malleable. Like you're gonna have to just load something up and go with it, the best thing you can do to get through it. So yeah, I like it may be you using like bond 15 units and stuff in there, so it still may not be that beneficial to you, but it really depends. Still makes me mad there are so many established NPC servants still not added years later. I mean, I'm gonna say this, I'm okay with that because a little bit to an extent, like, chat, which scares you more? Them having NPC servants that have been stuck in jail for years, or them not having any NPC servants stuck in jail? I know which one scares me more. Because it's probably a bad sign, right? So the second we have all the possible units that we could ever think of released into the game, that's not good. That means they're not developing characters anymore for the future, right? So while I understand that people want the units that they want, it's not a good sign for the health of the game if they're not looking forward anymore. Like that would be a sign that says that, like, hey, the end is nigh if they have no one else. So those NPCs are just sitting behind emergency glass next to Solomon. Yeah, I hear a lot of people say that all the time, but interestingly enough, we've pretty much disproven that we know they operate on a schedule. We know they plan releases well ahead. I still remember to this day people ranting that when they pulled out Muramasa on JP, that was cope, and that they were like, they just brought him out now so that they could save the game. They're just trying to make money. That's the only reason Muramasa came out now. To which, still to this day, I have countered, no, Muramasa very specifically came out right then for a very obvious reason. How people didn't see that is wild to me. And it just struck me as like NA-brained people that didn't know what was going on JP. So it's like, Muramasa was planned for a long time. Why specifically there is a better question, but no, it's 100% like in character for him to come out there. I think the only weird part was that they sat on him for as long as they did, which, you know, is definitely, I think, something that can be debated. Like, you look at them sitting on characters for years and years and years, and then you look on them, like, releasing a character before anyone expected them to, like in the case of Castoria or Koyanskaya. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what goes through their heads sometimes. They just do things. They do things that they think will make them money, and that's why they do it. Whether or not it is rhyme or reason. But it doesn't mean that they specifically go like, oh shit, we're in trouble, break the emergency glass, let's release the super popular servant right now. Because the servant has to be fully done and prepped and ready, right? Realtor is dead and forgotten. Yeah, I mean, like, that's I think the issue that everyone has with it at this point is that the NPC jail is full of really good units. So it's not that there are units there. It's that like people fear that like the unit that they really want is forgotten and will not come out. You're telling me that Koyanskaya had some kind of tie-in to a later event we got that year? Yep. Every unit comes out just to make money. Right. And that's all I'm trying to say is like, at the end of the day, you have to understand that is their goal is to make money. But like trying to sit there and claim that like, oh, this unit wouldn't be here if FGO weren't in such a like weird state at the moment is like, I've always thought that was a copium take. Break the emergency glass and release a Ren is going to be bonkers. I mean, I'd say they've waited too long on that one. Like they should have broken that glass long ago. And chat, let's be real, right? Let's be real. Ren would make a shit ton of money. So why haven't they broken that one if that theory is true? Right? Like, it seems to me like Nasu just absolutely has an iron grip on what gets released into the game. So, and what he wants released is what gets released. Yada, yada, yada. So they didn't release Nito Alter during the dead month of January to try and save FGO. You know, that's, I think, a better question is, did they... Like, Nito Alter was definitely going to release during LB7. I don't think that's up for debate. Did they move her banner release by, like, a week or two? I wonder, right? Like, I think that one's a much more plausible theory. Rather than, like, oh, bro, they totally threw out Muramasa now. Like, they waited for years. Now they did it. And only because... It's like, no, I don't believe that at all. But yeah, like moving a banner around by a couple weeks, I could see that being the case. I think that's an idea that has a lot more plausibility. Because they've also said in the interviews that the second part for LB7 got delayed. Like they messed up. Which, chat, I've said this before, I'll say it again. This is why you did not get a date for Ordeal Call. This is why you did not get a date for Ordeal Call 2. This is why, even with it being announced to be coming, you only have a guesstimate. It's only a late March because they don't want to have to commit to a date and be wrong ever again. They used to tell us ahead of time, at least, like, you know, again, you get the ballpark of like, oh, it's going to be in December, or like, oh, it's going to be at the end of the year, right? Like kind of giving you some idea. Then as you get closer to be like, here's the official announcement. It's going to be on this date. We basically only get that official announcement like a week out or less now, which is wild. Like, they used to be so much better about that. The truth is Nasu hates Ren with a burning passion. I think it was alleged in one of the interviews that Nasu has a grailed Ren. I'm not sure whether or not that's the case, though. I remember he said that he collects all the moon cancers and that he has a grailed moon cancer. but I don't remember where I remember hearing about the statement about Rin. It may not be that he has a grailed Rin. They may have asked him which of the three main protagonists females is like his favorite. I don't remember. But I feel like his was Rin and Takeuchi's was obviously Arturia. Which makes me feel bad for Sakura at that point, but it is what it is. I keep hearing rumors that Nasu hates Tamamo for some reason. I'm sure you keep hearing those rumors from Tamamo fans. Like I said, if the rumor doesn't have substantiation, if there is no like statement to indicate that, that's just people throwing shit, right? And like I said, don't take my word for it on the Rin thing, because like I don't specifically remember. It's just I have that little kernel stuck in the back of my head, and I don't remember why, right? But like I said, I think that was from an interview where they just asked him which, if you had to pick one of the three, which would be your like your favorite, right? Koyami buff win? Never. They just waited so long for no reason. My theory is that Nasu is good with Tamamo, but Sakurai hates Tamamo. Sakurai? Wait, okay, so which Sakurai? Are we talking the developer of like Super Smash Brothers Sakurai? Because let's be honest, if he were to put Tamamo in his game, he would make her broken and like beyond broken. Like they would keep asking him to stop and he would just keep making her better. The writer? Oh, okay, the writer. 10% party charge and NP damage up, please? No. No. What Arco wouldn't be asked by Nasu to make servants? Yeah. That's a very good point. Like, chat, remember this too. Like, whether or not they have favoritism, sure, I'm sure that's a thing. Do you think that the author, the creator of the character, hates any of the characters? Only if he didn't create them, right? That would be the only way I could see, and it still means that he signed off on it. So it doesn't mean that like you agree with all the author's takes on everything. The author may have some takes that to you seem insane, but yeah. The only ones that hate are the players, usually. Shinji exists in Stay Night, so yes. I think if you ask Nasu about Shinji, he would tell you he doesn't hate Shinji. I know people want to be sensationalist about this stuff, but like I don't think Nasu would tell you that he hates Shinji. It, like chat said, I do believe it's always the fans. Jujutsu Kaisen author hates Gojo. I think he finds Gojo problematic, but it's a problem of his own making, and it's one of the reasons that I like. Okay, chat, I have a very unpopular opinion on this. I don't think the Jujutsu Kaisen author knows how to write very well. And the reason that I say that is because the Jujutsu Kaisen author does some really weird shit where like he doesn't complete his thoughts. But that's my own personal hot take, and that's one of the like that would get me like absolutely excoriated on Twitter. Most fans think that? Okay. I assume nowadays with Jujutsu being super popular that was the case. And like I said, I haven't read the manga, so I don't know. But the body of work that I saw from season 2, I loved season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen. It's a 10 out of 10 anime. Season 2 was very miss for me. Very miss. I felt like there were so much things that could have been done better. Gojo is broken and there's no point in anything if he's in the series. Yeah, I mean, and I've talked about this before too. Like whenever you have a super powered character in something, Usually, if that character is not the main protagonist themselves, you have to find some way of dealing with that character. And that's kind of what you see in the second arc, is you have to find some way of like making them leave the scene, detaining them, being otherwise unavailable, or killing them off. Like it is always one of those things. Because if they're there, they just trivialize everything. So that's always a huge issue that people have. You have to have a struggle to make the story worth telling. And there's no struggle usually if it's like easy. And so this is an interesting idea too, because if you look at something like One Punch Man, you're like, oh, well, he doesn't struggle, right? No, One Punch Man struggles. He just doesn't struggle with anything that's like strength or power related. He struggles with like communication and socializing. That's it. Like he struggles to be normal in a world that is absolutely not normal. So there are ways you can make the character struggle still. Whereas Gojo, I think the only thing you could say Gojo struggles with are his friends. That's it. That's the only thing. And video games? Yes, and video games. Have you escaped from all the spoilers on the manga? I haven't escaped from all of them, but chat better not be saying certain things. Unfortunately, I found out about something that I'm not supposed to find out about. Thanks, Usher. Mahil, thank you for the 35. What do you think about La Single excluding Draco from GSSRs? I think it's scummy, if I'm just being honest. Wait, like the singer Usher? Yes, like the singer Usher. I literally only found out about it because someone memed the fact that Usher spoiled something on Jujutsu Kaisen. So, thanks, internet. But mostly thanks, Usher. Also, chat, we are now doing the JP event. It is my supremest and most, like, desired wish that all of you put up MLB of any of the like currency CEs that you have on JP. Stop putting up the point C. Everyone has it. No one needs it. Those of us that didn't roll need literally anything else. And some of y'all have it, but you don't have it on your Castoria, which drives me batty. Like, for instance, this one from Martel right here is a bait, because that's not Castoria. There we go. Leo saved me. Ah, yes, MLB of the gold. I'll take that. Yeah, so you can see, like, chat, welcome to my craft essences, okay? So like I said, I do not need point Cs. I desperately need anything to clear the shop. I'm on the no roll side, same. And it's been awful. People are just like not putting shit up. And don't get me wrong, y'all have the CEs. I see plenty of people with them. You're just not putting them on the supports. But I get it. People need both. Like, somebody that rolled only wants the point C, but to everybody that didn't roll, they only want not the point C, at least until they're done. What are you looking for? MLB of the gold or MLB of the bronze are usually the two that I will take. And it just kind of goes back and forth for me. Yeah, it doesn't have to be MLB either. If I get frustrated enough, I turn it off. I just try to take MLB whenever possible. Also, chat, behold my shit-tacular. So, if you want to see how to clear a JP event efficiently without rolling, chat, welcome to this run. Welcome to this run. And you're going to laugh at me in the fact that I said efficiently in a minute. Do you think La Single will eventually re-release the game using different code due to a lack of programmers who know how to program the current game? I mean, if that's the case, how the hell would you be able to transfer the code over? I don't think it's a lack of people understanding how to. I assume a lot of it is that they lack people that want to work with the Unity engine. I also expect in the animation department, they lack people that desire to work with sprite work. But that's just my like guessing, right? Like I have no idea. And we'll probably never find that out because the devs won't give us the info. The best case scenario that we always have is just like some sort of like key in on their hiring practices, but that's kind of tough to go off of. Oh no, my JP friends list is flooded by grailed Mashus. Sounds like you have a filter turned on. You're asking if they're going to overhaul the whole FGO engine? I don't think it's likely that they do, but I think it would be one of the solutions to the current predicament they find themselves in. It would take a lot of work on their part. Japan is full of cultured people. Yes. Gojo struggles with being the strongest. Kind of like he's alone at the top of a mountain. Yeah, I could see that too, right? Like it's the concept of being like isolated, right? So this is a weird thing. I don't talk about this very often, but it is definitely something that I have felt throughout my years of streaming. As I have been successful, especially when I've been more successful, right? Like right now, I'd say I'm doing okay, but I've definitely been more successful than this at certain points in my career. And during those times, you very much feel isolated because usually you start getting approached by people that just want shit from you. And it makes you very jaded on interactions with people. It makes you realize that everyone kind of just wants a piece of you and that they don't actually care about you in any way, shape, or form. There'll be no transfer. Yeah, I've said that before too, that like if they ever did an FGO2, it'd sure be nice of them to do that, but that would be like asking to not make money. So I don't see them allowing for transfer. If they did, it might be like they allowed like one like they allow you to pick a servant of your choosing or something like that. I don't think it would be anything like an actual one-to-one transfer of all of your progress. I should have done the Mighty Chain, but whatever. The possible change is Unity to Unreal. Yeah, and the problem that Unreal has is Unreal has some hefty fees as well. The big reason everybody got deeply upset about Unity was how Unity had planned to monetize, especially on the like per download basis that they were going for. And a lot of people did not like that. The problem with that is that Unreal also has a lot of like exorbitant higher up fees. The difference is I believe most of Unreal's fees like don't kick in until you're at a high level or something. And that's why a lot of smaller devs are trying to go with Unreal now. I'm just gonna do that. I could do the Mighty Chain again, but whatever. Thank you for the comfy check, Pion. Also, chat, we finished House of Ninjas on Netflix. Highly recommend. It was great. It was absolutely fantastic, and they tease the possibility of a season 2. So, like, I hope it gets one. It was one of the better shows I've watched on Netflix in a hot minute. That was like made for Netflix, right? 5% when you earn over $1 million, yeah, and that's hefty if you really think about it. Like, it's not the cut that like the Apple Store and stuff are taking, but just keep in mind that stuff like the Apple Store are taking it in addition to that. So it would definitely be oof, right? I am probably gonna have to NP multiple times here, although no, I've got all arts cards, so we're just gonna go ahead and boost. If your friends list isn't full, I have MLB of all three event currencies. Sure. I usually have room on JP. NA is the one that's subscriber only because it's rough. And even in NA, so that nobody thinks I'm baiting them into subscribing. Like, I have a wait list, like, because of how many subscribers I have as well as how many slots there are. And that wait list sometimes takes a long time because, you know, it's not like I kick people every day or anything like that. So, but I try to be as fair as possible on that. Maybe make the servant lock behind game progression. I mean, they could. The issue at play with stuff like that, though, is that they still need to make money, right? Like, imagine being a gacha game and just giving away the majority of the units to a good chunk of the player base. I don't see them doing it, right? Like, they would need to justify the cost of developing a second version of the game or a like engine upgrade to the game. And the only way to do that would be to find, you know, ways to make money. I do think there are other alternatives that they could go for. I just don't see them doing it at the current moment because they haven't expressed any interest in doing it so far. If people just lose practically 100% of their account base, their current player base will just really be done with it. Yeah, I think in the case of an engine upgrade, I don't think you'd lose everything. In the case of like an FGO2, you would. And it is what it is, right? Like, you say a lot of people would be done with it. I'm sure a lot of people would be done with it, but also they'd get a lot more new people to come in and check out a second version of the game. With an engine update, I don't see them like touching your account because there'd be legal ramifications for something like that. School Idol Festival 2 lets you transfer everything. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's not a good example. and the only reason why is because, like, what? I've never heard of that game before. And I'm not saying that it's like tiny necessarily, just so much as like it's not one of the major ones, right? A competitor to HSR would be hype. I mean, that makes it sound like FGO wasn't there first and that a lot of Honkai Star Rail isn't derivative of FGO. Because it's like they're already competing to a large degree. Whether or not like there's a lot of overlap between the two, I think is suspect, but I don't know. I don't put much stock in like the gacha games battling each other to an extent. And the reason why is people have shown that they will play multiple gacha games. So I don't think it matters, right? Like, I think the only thing that matters is that your product stands on its own and is good. Because people will play your product. Like, the issue that FGO currently has, more than anything, is that, like, it just is not doing hot on producing content. Like, it needs to step it up. It needs to get back to the pace that it used to be at. And if it can do that, I think it'll be fine. If it can't do that, it's going to continue to suffer. So I think that's just a problem of the devs making. Because we can't really say it's the players' fault. It's not like the players haven't given them shit tons of money. So it's either the devs or it's the people controlling the devs. It's one or the other. And my money's on it's the people controlling the devs. But regardless, it is what it is. The fact remains of like there is a weird situation going on. I play both. See, there you go. Making a turn-based game with 3D models is just potential wasted on the turn-based system. Potential wasted on the turn-based system. No. And the reason I say no is like there's a ton of people out there that feel like turn-based gameplay is just bad. Those people are just wrong. That's the best way I can say it. Like, there are people that literally think that the only way to have a game nowadays is action gameplay. Those people will sit down and unironically go play like solitaire or some shit on their phone. And it's just stupid. I don't know how they don't realize the hypocrisy when they say stuff like that. You do things all the time, probably, that use both systems. But people develop this complex in their head that are like, oh man, it's a game? It's turn-based? Oh, shit. This is the same issue that people have if they try to generalize or stereotype anything. All isekai anime are bad. Well, I don't want to get into other examples of this because that starts getting into real life stereotypes, which is not a pleasant subject for stream. The whole point being, though, that like, don't judge the book by its cover. You can easily try it out and have fun with it. Just because you didn't like a couple of turn-based games doesn't necessarily mean you don't like turn-based. It just means that maybe you didn't like those games. But simultaneously, maybe you really don't like turn-based. But that is your opinion, and it has nothing to do with people liking it. You might not like it. There are plenty of people who do. And that's the only thing I can say to that. Is like, there is an entire generation of people that got brought up on turn-based games. There's a clear demand for that type of gameplay. Yep. Get a turn-based game, win game of the year. Turn-based is just boring 90% of the time. Again, I'm going to say that's your opinion. I don't agree with that opinion in the slightest. However, I will say there are definitely games that don't do turn-based good. However, the reverse is also true. I find most action games boring as shit. Why? They're usually just hack and slash button mashers. So that's my problem with a lot of the action games. An action game that's done well is really good. Like, I love the Elden Ring and Souls series because there's a lot of like movement involvement there and a lot of strategy and tactics in it. A action-based game that doesn't have those elements, I just find boring as shit. And I know that's a me thing because there's people that love it. But so I'm also not going to sit there and say those games are bad. Nobody should play those games. It's a waste of potential. That's not a good take either, right? It's boring from the perspective of somebody who is backseating. I do agree with that. I think there's definitely something to be said about games being like interesting for stream content. So I think that is at least a different argument. Will I play Rebirth? Yes, I already have it preloaded. In fact, so funny story, chat. I have my PlayStation 5 controller right here, right? So before stream, I was using it to play Monster Hunter a little bit. Before that, though, I had turned on my PlayStation 5 and started the download for it. And apparently, even though it was plugged into my computer, the Bluetooth was still going to my PlayStation 5, and I was doing two things at once. And it was pretty cancerous because I accidentally pre-ordered like the MLB ticket on my freaking PlayStation 5. And I had to go in and cancel that shit. So I was like, you could ask Bob and Burning because they were doing it with me. We were literally hunting the arc-tempered basil geese for the one like Hunter's Rank quest. And like I had to like stop right at the end and let them kill it because I was just like, holy shit, I need to go like undo whatever the fuck it just did. True, action games pretty boring for me, except some competitive ones, which is a different story. Yeah, and that's all I'm trying to say is, please, guys, don't take anything I said personally. Just understand that people have opinions, but those opinions do not speak for everyone. And that there are obviously going to be people that feel differently. So, especially turn-based versus action gameplay, these things are like diametrically opposed. There are always going to be people that are on one side of the fence or the other. It does not matter which side of the fence you're on. The other side of the fence is equal and oppositely valid. And that's all I'm trying to make people realize, is that like both sides can be good, both sides can be shit. And it really just boils down to the developer and your own personal tastes. You had another story like this recently, didn't you? Or was it another streamer? I think that was another streamer. Because because I have not had another story like that recently. Looks like the guy who had his fish ordering food for itself while playing Pokemon. Nice. The only action game I play is Zelda. I'm terrible at action games. I assume you mean like the more recent Zelda games, right? Because like, well, I guess, yeah, even then you could maybe call the other ones action because they weren't turn-based. They were like top down, like flat screen on like Game Boys and the original Nintendo systems. Which honestly, those games were interesting in and of their own way and how they managed to work because there was a lot of jank with them too, right? All right, chat, it's advanced quest time. Let's go settle it on that because I don't remember what this advanced quest is. I love the top-down Zeldas. I did like the like 2.5D like remaster remake that they did of Link's Awakening. I thought that was actually a pretty cool one. It's also got like a really awesome soundtrack. Not that the original didn't, but like it steps it up and up because it has like the original chip tune and then it adds like a bunch of other like variants to it. Want to handicap yourself to make things interesting? No. Chat, you're gonna see. If you're excited and like Advanced Quest, that's fine. But I think a bunch of you are gonna realize that like as time goes on, these things are just annoying. They're not really good as far as the challenge goes. They're just gimmick quests. But these are the like infinitely repeatable challenge quests that people asked for. All right, in this quest, different enemies have different weaknesses, so try to select the most effective command cards and aim for maximum damage. In the advanced quest, you cannot use support characters or continues. Oh, cool, thanks. So it's all berserkers. So as I damage them, they wait. Chat, can I literally just Oberon this shit? It feels like I can. Is there a massive like defense buff that they have? Because I'm not seeing it. Yes. Poop. Chat wants me to use my Artoria. Okay. Well, which Artoria, chat? You want Artoria or you want like Lartoria? Just one shot it. It's super easy. Fine. Wait, that's the OG. Hold on. My brain. Where's my Arctic Mystic code and why am I blind? There it is. Oh, now someone said Lartoria. Damn it. If he had been a little bit faster, I would have totally used her. Ruler Toria. Ruler Toria is so fun to use and stuff like this. I can't wait until we get the Moonsault. Whatchamacallit. The fights were super long in that, but it's Chad, if y'all have seen me go through the Grail fronts with Ruler Artoria before, watch as she like solos a 45-minute Grail front. She's just sitting there like swatting them away left and right like flies. It's freaking hilarious. Just watch her just run roughshod over the whole thing. Okay. They're all like the same. We're gonna try to like pre-card and stagger just to be on the safe side, but I don't think it's gonna matter. It's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter, chat. Do you turn off game audio? Yes. There you go, chat. I did the quest the same way, still wrecked it. Yeah, that was a little overkill. Like, and I don't know if y'all saw, but like my comp is like the epitome of like veteran/whale technology, because it just, I have like the Ox Demon Kings equipped. I just go in there, just try to like overpower it. You're not going to be able to do that with every single one of these advanced quests, though. That is the problem. Also, the big issue that you guys are going to run into is that these are going to start to bloat your inventory. This challenge got slapped a little. Yeah, just a little. It would have been 5 million. That's true. It would have been if I had just done things a little differently. But yeah, it's these are pretty easy. I think the next advanced quest that we get, let me see. That's weird. Fandom has this clued in differently. Yeah, the next quest, Advanced Quest Part 3, which had happened in March. For that one, we finally get 3 advanced quests in one. And then we keep getting 3 until the 7th round of advanced quests. Then we get 7 of them at a time, because screw everyone. And that was Advanced Quest Part 7 is where like people just started to give up doing them, because they were just like, I don't have time for this shit. Like there were still people that gave up early, but the majority of people, I think, up till that point were doing them. When they got to Part 7, it was like the backbreaker, and everyone just went like, I'm gonna wait until they give out MLB. And I don't blame them. Like that was the point where like, and again, just so you guys can see, right? Like this is what I'm talking about, right? So like you get one, then the next one we have coming up is 3, then 3, then 3, then 3, and then 7. So people are like, yeah, I don't have the patience for this. And I don't think like, yeah, you finally get your first MLB at Part 14. They waited that long. And Part 14 was February of last year on JP. So you're looking at February of next year. So you literally like a year away. So you have a year before you ever get MLB of one of these. A year. Exhibition quest from the Lotto is BS advanced so far. GG easy. I mean, some of the exhibition quests from a Lotto can be done pretty good, but like the issue at play with them is that just all consumes time, and that's I think the issue people are going to have with the Lotto this time around. I love how the C's look. I do too. I actually think they're really cool. They're sort of like an extrapolation on the material itself. It's just that you'll be able to read what is happening without having to look at a guide. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong, Abandon. This is the major issue with it happening on JP is a lot of people just don't understand the mechanics. And early on, stuff like Fandom did not have like anything written up for it, which I understand it takes someone time to do the write-up, so I'm not going to fault Fandom too hard on that, other than like someone needs to do the write-up in the event. Whereas, what one was it? I think it was Tesla Fest, where like Fandom didn't have. No, it wasn't Tesla Fest. It was something that we got a repeat of. No, maybe it was, because we did get some of the old Festa ones in it. Anyways, one of the Lottos, like, we did not have write-ups for the challenge quests even a year later when they came back. And I was just like, man, did you, like, never do this? Like, did you never sit down and, like, detail, like, here are the mechanics? You don't have to give me a guide and tell me how to do it, but, like, you didn't even detail the mechanics. So it's like I remember having to go on like App Media and Atlas and shit to go find it, which is what the God, why can't I not think of it all of a sudden? Brain dead. What the fandom people did. But yeah, it's like I don't ask for much from the fandom people. I understand they're volunteer, just that, you know, please do the work. And if you're not going to, please find someone that will. Right? Like that's all I ask. Because I'm the same way, right? Like I've had people before be like, "Oh, well, Kat, if you're going to be critical of fandom, why don't you go help?" And I'm like, "Hi, content creator here. Actually do help a lot of the time. Actually do make content a lot of the time." So it's, yeah, I get it. I understand how annoying it can be. I also myself am usually too busy to help out on their end. I'm busy enough trying to handle all of my shit. Super Roma CQ, I think that was it. I think that was one of them. And I think it comes back. Correct me if I'm wrong in this one. That's why I said, like, it may have been Tesla Fest. Very Fest has no CQ descriptions, by the way. Yeah, there you go. I'm not surprised. So it's like they don't have to do it like right away, but I wish like before the end of the event, someone would go do it while it's fresh in their mind, right? I'm okay with Advanced Quest simply because we have so much free time this year. At least I will have something to do. Yeah. I don't think that's a huge issue, right? The problem that I'm having right now is like I'm gonna feel super crunched until Tesla Fest is done, because I have all the shit I have to do for Tesla Fest. I have basically work that's the main problem going on right now in my life. So until that's done, and please don't take this the wrong way, Chad, but don't expect a lot out of me. Like my goal here is to be live for you guys every day. My goal is to try and cover the events as they happen, but there are days that I need to take off. There are days that I'm going to be late. It just happens. But like new content wise, while I have some ideas and I have written them down, I'm not going to really bother broaching those ideas until like things are in a much better spot for me schedule wise. Hyper, thank you for the 56. How's it going? Random question. Do you think they gave Umu defense ignore to get around other servants' IP? I just said my OBS disconnected. Can you guys still hear me? Hello? Uh-oh. No está bueno. Did stream freeze or is it just me? I think stream froze. Reconnection successful. Okay, we should be back. Oh, it's going to shit again. God, what is up with this? We back? Yeah. It's pretty spicy right now. Like I'm actually seeing my connection bottom out and transmit nothing. So it's like you guys are getting like parts of it and then not at all. I think the connection's also suffering, maybe, right? Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Wait, what servant is the girl in the chat? You're talking about this servant that's waving right now? Or are you talking about the one for the chat art? The chat art is Artoria Avalon, which is it's Castoria's summer form as a berserker. Zerktoria, as I like to call her. We back? Never mind. I don't know why it's fluctuating this hard. It should like catch up, but it's clearly like having some issues. It's good on YouTube. So like, is YouTube not experiencing any lag whatsoever? That's wild if that's the case. If that's the case, that definitely means that it's not my net and it's Invest servers. But if YouTube's also getting lag, it may be my net. Hope the connection gets better. Yeah, that's why I'm like not doing much at the moment. I'm hoping it'll stabilize some. Because it's showing me at like 60 drop frames, 60%, which is like really bad. It just started now. Lag here? Yeah. It seems like YouTube's a little bit delayed on it, but it do be happening. Berseria? Yeah. Hmm. I don't know what else I can do to fix this chat. Um, Chat, I think I'm gonna cancel. Like, we're just gonna end it here because I've covered most of what I wanted to cover anyways. We'll be back tomorrow covering the Road to 7 stream. Hopefully it's good. But yeah, we were gonna play some Helldivers afterwards. I may still do that on Discord or something, but I'm dropping so many frames here. This cannot be a good viewing experience. Just switch to YouTube and it's fine. Hmm. Can people in YouTube hear me and like react the second they hear this? Wow, that's over a 30-second delay. Yeah, I mean, Chad, I can do all of that, but it's gonna actually like destroy the stream. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.